guys, welcome to the Sly&Wesh podcast. My name is Sly.
My name is Wesh, and as usual, this is a podcast that focuses on introspection and reflection so that we can improve our internal lives and therefore improve our external lives.
Bang, 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 bang.
Bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, that's literally what our podcast is about. Yeah, we urge people, like every topic is a driving, like we drive it to one point.
Yeah.
Go back within so that you can figure out the world outside of you.
Facts.
Yeah. So on today's episode, we have a conversation. A very interesting conversation we want to have. Yeah. And I feel like it's a necessary
It is,
conversation.
And I feel like we can't even finish it.
We can never finish it. Yeah. We'll talk about it on many.
It will be recurring.
Yeah.
And the topic is
it's actually hapo hivyo kwa tagline. So
okay, so today we are going to be talking about myths and misconceptions in love, dating and relationships. Which ones do you believe? Which ones do you not believe? Which ones are we going to debunk? Let's get into it.
Especially like in your 30s.
Because now
it looks different. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It looks different. You're older, you know a bit more. So there's some things you can be able to tell like right off the bat, like okay.
Nah.
Get out of here.
Doing that. Yeah.
So
You ask me a question. I don't even know. I can't even.
Okay. Do you believe in love at first sight?
No and yes. Not love at first sight, but there's some people you see and you're like, I'm not sure. It's not happened to me.
And not attraction, love.
No. I'm not sure. I feel like the movies I've watched have made it so solid in my head, but I'm just like, I'm not sure you can love someone instantly. But I've had also stories of people who saw each other and they were like, that felt weird. No, yeah, like that felt like you know them
like
from
a connection.
Yeah.
I feel like it's not love. Whatever there is, you can't have a connection with someone at first sight without even exchanging a word. But in my opinion, it is not love.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because to me, love is a choice. And like you choose to do things to foster it, or you choose to not do things and it dies. So if those people saw each other and they had a connection and they were like, you know what, I believe in this connection, let's do something about it. See, now they will build love.
Absolutely.
But otherwise, it's just like, I've remembered. I saw recently a story of this actor. He's called Coleman Domingo, I think. He met a guy randomly kwa super tu hivyo akitembea. Liked him. I mean, just like thought he was like, very
like that's a guy or a dude meeting.
Dudes. Okay, both of them are dudes. Yeah. So he just saw the guy and he was like, oh, this guy looks interesting. Then wanaangaliana, like, there's something about you.
Yeah.
There's something about you.
Yeah.
Then the thing for mnaangaliana, and then he left.
Yeah.
And then akatoka nje akampata hapo. Then he walked off. Akamuita, he didn't turn back. Akaenda home. So then that thing for missed connections. There's a thing on Craigslist where they write like, oh, I saw you. Tuseme nilikuona jana pale kwa
stage.
Nilikuona pale Super Metro.
Literally.
Nilikuona pale Super Metro. And you were dressed like this and you looked like this. Na sayo aliona, he was also thinking of placing an ad for the guy.
Okay.
So he was like, he reached out. Wakapata nao mse, wakaenda date, and then they went home together, and then usiku he was like, I think you're going to change my life, and I think I'm going to marry you or some shit. They've been married for 19 years.
Shut the front door.
Yours.
What?
The day they met.
You see, that's what makes me think.
Connect though.
Yeah.
Yes, your love.
I don't know, but I think there's some truth to it that happens.
In this Nairobi, you're going to love at first sight with a Nairobi man.
No, wait. Don't play with me.
Are you going to play those games?
No, absolutely
Those are serious
jokes. Yeah, serious games. But now that one is like, it's a thing. Is it soulmate, twin flame thing? It's almost like you feel like you know them.
I do believe in that. I do believe in like that magic. I believe you can meet someone and feel super connected to them. I believe in all of that. I just don't
think it's love.
My definition of love, let me say that. My definition of love is not that.
Does not allow you to consider that as love.
Don't play those games in Nairobi, please. That is my advice.
But if you see me and you fall in love with me, I will understand.
What's not to love?
Seriously, look at me. But yeah, I think that one, based on my what we've been exposed to media wise, I believe in it. But based on my own experience, not really. Also based on other people's stories, I kind of see it, but definitely not love. Love is something you build also. It's not something that can happen
happens even too. Facts.
At first glance. No.
I agree.
For sure.
I was trying to think if I've ever had I think I've had connections.
Yeah.
But not an intense, maybe like an intense attraction, I guess, but not
love. Yeah. I'm trying to think of when I ever felt that. I think I usually feel that with babes, like friends.
Yeah. I feel like it happens a lot with friends, that connection.
Yeah. Una meet mtu first time and then you're like, oh my God, we could be such good friends.
But you see, also, to even have an interaction, if they have to be open.
Yeah.
Like they have to be also looking for magic, believing in magic.
I wanted also even to mention that timing also. Everything has to align for it to be love or connection at first sight. It has to be you're looking for a connection, because sometimes the things that come to you because you're in that space, ama you're manifesting it without even knowing, like in your head, in a manifest physically. Like you've been looking for it and then you find it and it's like, oh, this is what I've been looking for.
Oh my life.
Oh my God. Okay, manifesting.
I think hata umesema timing nikafikiria things like the right person at the wrong time. I feel like that's
Do you believe in that? Do you believe in that?
Nah,
I do.
I think if it's the right if it's the wrong time, they're not the right person for you. Because it's not like they're bad or anything. They're great. They're a good person objectively. I mean, I feel like you can point like among your friends people who are very good, but they're not the right person for you.
Yeah.
So I don't believe in right person, wrong time.
Yeah.
Because then if it's the wrong time, then they're not the right person.
They're not the right person. Nilionea kuchujuzi, and I was like, whether that makes sense. Because like, how do you know they're the right person if it's not the time to be with them? Yeah, I get that. But also it happens. Sometimes nisha experience kitu. Maybe you've gone on a trip or umeenda shags. You've gone somewhere and then the last night the last night you meet someone so interesting.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, no, I'll never
I've
see
experienced that before.
Yeah, you're like, oh my God, that's bad timing.
And I feel like such things were meant to be like that. It was meant to be a short and sweet interaction.
Facts.
Maybe you'd have dated for like a month and you're like, ew, I hate this guy.
Yeah.
Like you never know.
True.
And then also there's the thing of romanticizing things we haven't, things that were beautiful for a short time, we tend to romanticize. If at all we romanticize bad relationships by remembering only the good, it's very possible what we're doing here is romanticizing an interaction that was just like vibing.
Yeah, just a vibey interaction. Yeah. Interesting. That's a myth. That's a misconception. Or like,
I feel like to me it's a myth. Right person.
That's a myth.
Wrong time. Yes.
Yeah, and the love at first sight thing.
No, I think what the fuck is the difference between a misconception?
A myth.
I think it's a misconception. Love at first sight.
Yeah.
Yes.
A myth is absolutely not true. Sindio?
Yes.
It's like absolutely not true. Like the thing we were discussing this now, the thing for people change or people don't change. So what is the myth? I feel like people change.
Me, I believe 100% people change.
But not everybody and not with everything. Like if someone there's a babe, I don't know what I was watching, and then that babe noticed that the guy has a wandering eye first 2 dates or something. Like unajua ile uko dates na mse first time, then akiona dem ako. Can you imagine?
Please.
Like first 2 dates, because you see it's one thing if you're both dating. I know it's one thing if you're dating already and like mnaona dem because zile za ni msawa ama anakwambia yule dem ni msawa. And it's something else when it's like the first 2 dates and already una notice ako so distracted na madem. Waiter akienda, you can see him sizing her up and down.
He pretend even like for.
Yeah, and then you're just like, he'll change. Telling yourself that person will change is like
a lie.
Self-betrayal. I don't even know what that is, honestly. So
and then it's true. It's that people do change and they don't change.
Yeah.
If you see some traits in someone like that early on, they will not change.
They will not change.
They've already shown you who they are. Believe them.
Yeah.
And also, but that is for like when you've just met someone. When you've been in a long-term relationship, people absolutely change. And they change all the time. And they may change in ways you don't want. They may change in ways you're like,
now who is this?
I expected them to go this way, they went this way. Like, the people change in so many ways. The challenge is being committed to the person regardless of, unless they're like a horrible person, they've changed into a horrible person.
Oh, yeah.
If it's like interests change, career changes, who you hang out with changes, and that changes you. If it's stuff like that, I feel like that's why it's a choice. You choose to be with this person regardless. If you're feeding into each other and they're like, I don't see why not.
Yeah.
And even when we say like, oh, this is who I fell in love with and it's over now, I feel like that is also kind of a choice.
Yeah.
Everyone will get to that point. So now you have gotten there.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
I think mostly that would happen or happens mostly. Kama you're also not evolving as you should. As in if you're...
For you to... facts, yeah.
Yeah.
For you to notice and have a problem with the change.
Yeah. Not notice and have a problem with the change, but just the living room for that.
Oh, yeah. And our understanding
the evolution.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
I think ukiwa unamwona as just a person evolving and loving them regardless.
Yeah.
Also, you need to be very in tune with yourself. Like zile how are you evolving? Because we get lost in what that other person is doing.
Yeah.
If they're showing up for you, if they're
Oh my God, yes.
showing up for you the way you want. But you, is that way they're showing up now serving you?
Yeah.
As you have evolved.
Yeah.
And not the Sly that met him like
7 years ago.
Oh my God, it's such a difference. Like when it's long term and when it's like you're getting to know somebody. Yeah.
Because even simply, even the best example I can think of is like friendships. It's friendships are pretty low pressure to some degree, at least lower than romantic. Even if they suffer the most consequences, I don't know why.
Yeah.
Romantics don't suffer the same.
We give our partners a lot of grace,
but we don't give our friends. But think of like friendships. I think of all the friends I knew in uni. Right now they are so different.
Yeah.
And it was a challenge for all of us to adjust to, like, this is me now, guys. I have completely new interests. I see things this way and not this way. Maybe tuliacha ukiwa hivi. Sasa tumepata, this is how you're viewing things, but we are still interacting with you and judging you.
Yeah.
Based of the previous version.
Yeah.
And now we are having a conflict because you're like, kwani you guys can't see I've changed.
Yeah.
And as we're like, ay, kwani na wewe,
yeah,
what's going on? So you've always been like this when you allow us. Like everyone.
Yeah, and that
everybody
happens a lot.
To be allowed.
In long-term friendship. But let me give you a scenario of evolution. Then you tell me how that would go. Tell me now you've been dating your person for a long time. Then they decide they're not drinking anymore. Ama, you decide you're not drinking anymore. Them, they have no problem. They want to go out. They want to continue drinking. I feel like that's one example that would be like now a test to the relationship.
Yeah.
Like, are you going to give them room to continue going out and to continue drinking? Because I've seen this a lot, especially with men. Every time I say men, me online, I'm always like, I know people will say not all men are.
We know.
It's not you. It's not you. Men.
If hit dogs.
Yeah. Ati?
Hit dogs.
They bark.
They holler.
Yeah. If their shoe fits. Yeah, but anyway, like dudes, what was even my point? We were talking about. Babe, we were talking
change alcohol, like one person fits.
Oh, yeah, and something. I feel like men get into relationships like. You see, when you're in a zone, me, I feel like, I'll use myself as an example. I'm in this zone this year, I'm pouring into myself, I'm loving myself, I'm being independent, I'm working, I'm paying my bills, I'm doing all these things. And maybe I am mtu mwenye ananiangalia from a point of, is this a viable wife or girlfriend or something, will be like, yeah, I like those, those qualities. I want someone who goes to church, I want someone who blah, 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 blah. And then they meet you or they interact with you with time, and they realize you actually go out quite a bit. You actually have some habits that are...
That they don't like.
Yeah.
To them, it's not for a pious woman.
For that woman that they've put you as. And it's like now they have to give you room. Now, I think that's where it comes in, Mamboza, being seen and being heard and being actually understood by your partner. So when you have a partner, munaelewana in a level of you're understanding their journey, and them, they understand your journey and where you're going and why you do the things you do the way you do them.
Yeah.
It's easier now to give room to them and also for you to explain to them where you are, because sasa tuseme umequit kukunywa and then you're like expecting your person to not drink,
hata yapunguze aache altogether.
Ama juu tumeona and now I can't have a bad day and decide I'm going to drink this weekend, I'm going to go out because umeni box kwa place na unielewi as a person.
Box.
Yeah,
Me personally, I feel like if you, I try to judge people based off of their values. So like I know your values that you live by, that you things like that. And I feel like on top of that is dressing. So like, especially if something like drinking, if you're not a problematic person when you drink, it doesn't really matter. I feel like, because the values have not changed.
Okay,
you going out with your friends doesn't change your values. You doing this, changing your hobby doesn't change your values. It will change how maybe we spend time together, or we'll have to have a kanyuka dynamic, of course, that is strained. But the values, have your values changed? I feel like to me that would be the biggest worry. If your values change, then it becomes like, it's
a problem.
Or a big thing, like if someone says, I don't want kids, then they change their mind and they say they want. That's a huge thing. That's a huge commitment. So you can't like be like, oh, I'll have kids for you. Another misconception, myth. Marriage and babies will save the relationship.
They'll make it worse. Definitely, the dynamic changes. It's more intense. It gets realer. It gets so real.
And now there's a whole human being who's dependent on you. Who you are like vibes. You know, so like you see something like that. If someone was like, I'm against children, and then they decide they want children and they expect you now to change and decide you also want children, it becomes
a problem.
Or even vice versa. It's like it's a point of breaking up. Actually, it's not even a matter of understanding each other. Deal breaker. Or let me have kids for you, or let me not have kids for you, and then afterwards you're like, shit, you're 50, you're like, I really wanted children, and then it's
man. I made a bad decision. That's interesting.
Or I didn't want, and now here I am with kids, and then I'm like,
oh my god, that's a terrible scenario to be in. Another one I would think of, and another one that I feel like men would find themselves in. Umeolewa, and then he's like, he doesn't want you to work, and he wants you to stay at home and take care of the family, blah blah blah. 5 years in, bills zinampeleka. He's like, nah, I need a hand. You need to look for a job. I need us to do this. So now hapo sasa inakuja like
my thing with that would be, what was the reason? What was the reason?
And then
the first time, when we were...
That's what I want to go to. Because now with change, what will we tailor in a way that is convenient for them? Because is gender roles and stuff like that. Like, come us as babes, we expect a dude will change, like, get more money.
Or like now start spending time at home.
No, at this time maybe now he's so busy because he needs to build his business. So maybe in 5 years he'll have more time for me. But now you see those 5 years, itakumpe chance ya kuona you can't take. So sometimes you get into a relationship because you're literally giving them room to just be who they are. But now una expect wata change, unajiambia tu ati wata change. But then you need to have those conversations at the beginning, like, like, is this something you can change? Also, know yourself. Saa zingine ukijua vitu zako zenye huwezi change, unaweza ona.
It's easier. Be like,
by the way, say venye yako haiwezi change. Venye yako haiwezi change.
Na mimi sita change.
Na mimi sita change. Me kwanza the chores thing, I think yani kitu like with chores, I feel like anyone who waits, and I've had that problem with most of my exes, it's almost like they expect like it will subside my stance on chores and moving around and working and
you'll start now doing it.
Maybe it will because now you're providing and you're this and you're allowing me to be myself. You think maybe I will now just start doing things, but genuinely it's just like not natural for me. So it's not going to happen until maybe nimeamua, oh, by the way, of which nimeamua sasa through the self-love journey that I'm on. But it's
for
like
you still
it would be important for me to tell somebody that at the beginning, like, but this is something that might never change.
Shidani, I feel like another thing tied into that is like people don't, when someone tells you, me
you don't believe them.
Hivi na sipendi hivi na sifanyangi hivi, why aren't you believing them? Why do you think you have some magical that is going to change their minds or like make them start? Because I feel like as an acts of service person who genuinely I just like pattering around doing shit, as soon as I notice that that's what you expect me to do, as in a bigger potato, couch potato.
But even me, that's the thing. I feel like those upon the to chenga, because like they act like they expect it, and it's like as long as nime notice uko zile za umekaa chini una breathe at
you are sick.
I'm hungry. Oh my god. Sir?
Genuine way.
Yeah. I don't know. But hiyo kitu ya kuchange, I feel like it's a misconception or it's one of those.
Yeah, like people do change, but don't expect someone. Even it's an expectations thing. I feel like you have expectations of what you want in a partner. Figure out what is an expectation, what is a deal breaker for you, and what isn't. Wachana na mambo za expectations. As humans, we of course have expectations, but like when you notice that you're projecting and you have your own needs, make sure your partner is a partner who can at least meet your core needs. Then the other shit you can negotiate around. But being like, I really need a stay-at-home Proverbs 31 wife, and then you go to collect a body, you're sick. You are sick because what are you doing? No, genuinely.
No,
tell me. For real. I need the men to tell me because you're your tabia.
Now, by the way, you see this whole conversation on how men are miserable in their marriages, men are miserable in their homes, they are always in the bars because they don't want to get because they married sijui who. Shida wanza na hiyo kitu ya I want this woman because she's wife material. You don't know this babe. You don't know if you like her.
Do you even like her as a person?
Yeah, you don't know if you can have fun with her. You don't know what conversations with her look like over time.
But
you just know huyu dem akiwa kwangu nakwambia kuna kwa kusafi.
Na
niko na food.
Can you hire someone and stop it?
In 2 years, ako na postpartum depression. Ako maybe feeling like, you know, when you have a child, you're a different person. I feel like that's something men need to literally internalize and think about.
Changes you fundamentally.
Fully. Like psychologically, mentally, physically, in every way. So, unapata huyo dem, first of all, huko unamjua. Jua hata hujijui. First of all, hujui unafata kujua nini.
Unataka nini ama hata
hujui. Wewe unajua tu uko na gari na uko na job na
uko na
it's time.
You're 35, it's time now to
I'm ready down. See, my house has a washing machine and stuff.
Please,
so I'm ready for a wife. Then you get this babe because it's in her values to have a clean home and to manage her home. Like that's a thing.
Either way, she would do it.
Either way, she would do it. But now she has her own issues and her own unpacked things and her own deal breakers or her zenye ujui.
Because you can't be bothered.
And you've not even had that conversation because you are not a leader. Sorry. And then now you're with her in the house. Now eggshells, walking on eggshells. You don't know each other. You want to go out. You don't want to go with her because umemweka kwa hii place. I've heard this thing about dudes don't like. So tuseme mtu umepata mtoto wake like hataki kukuona in a certain way, like they don't want to even do some sex positions with you.
It's called the Madonna Ho complex. Like women are either or. There's no spectrum of women because of course we are only two things, and you can only if you're this, if like you have like the best sex with him, he can never respect you as the mother of his kids. But then as the mother of his kids, he respects you too much. It's like, it's not respect, please. Let's call it what it is. It's not respect at all. Because those two can be the same woman.
It actually is.
It is, not even can be.
A woman is multifaceted.
We are shocker, I know. We are actually like whole beings with internal lives and a whole world system and everything. We have all our shit. It's not only those two. But then you're like, nah, mi bibi yangu mimi ati ameenda club. And then you know, but that's not even about your wife. You're more concerned about what your boys are going to say about your wife, not about her or her values or anything.
Absolutely.
Because whose opinion here do you care about? Not ours.
Exactly.
Na kwanza msinikasirishe.
actually, this conversation, I feel like we will talk about it throughout the year.
Throughout for the life of this podcast.
Yeah, the life of this podcast. Because I feel like relationships are very core to who we are, especially romantic ones.
Yeah, they really impact.
Yeah, and we need to break down what they look like or what they should look like. And if, I know people are really into this conversation, although maybe they're exhausted, but come on.
Regardless.
Yeah, subscribe. Subscribe and like and comment.
Hit follow.
Yeah, hit follow so that you can hear our opinions, because I just feel like we need to put out more opinions that are thought through, because also I think that was the point of this episode.
Yeah,
because there's so much
yes, exactly.
There's so much do this, don't do this online, and it's almost like now you need to get to a point of now defining it for yourself.
Yeah, so why aren't we doing this again?
What is this that I need to do, and why
and why do I need to do that?
We're very informed for you. I feel like even one of the importances of having this conversation is defining relationships for yourself, and how you're going to maneuver them and how informed you are to maneuver them, because now you see with the influx we have, akina Shera, akina Margarita and routines of the world, where you're being told don't do this, do this instead, approach men like this because men are like this, femininity, masculinity, blah blah blah. There's a lot of, you feel like it's almost like an interview unaenda, and it gets what gets lost is that these are actual people.
Yes, you've said that so nicely.
Yeah, we get lost in the fact that this is a person who has walked through their life, their journey, whatever, bila script, bila manual, bila anything, and not everyone is programmed to be like, this is how I am, and because I'm like this, I'm going to be like this, and because I'm like this, it means you should think of this. I feel like me nimefika ile point, I'm just like, I need to filter out now the content. Yes, I'll read everything and listen to what people have to say, but I am dealing with human beings who are in Kenya, first of all.
First and foremost.
Yeah, I'm dealing with Nairobi men right now. And it's like, I need
the context is very different.
Very different. So you need to apply some tact, some self-awareness, some introspection, some observe, like some observation things. So when you meet a guy, you don't just automatically like, kwanza bracket ya girls 25 below. the thing for, if you wanted to, he would, you're out of that conversation.
Also, even such things, it's not a one size fits all. Context is everything.
It's everything.
Imagine you've met a guy like I don't even know what job to say. Let's say he's a mechanic or something, or let me just say something like a freelancer where it's not like a regular, it's not a income. So he has to be creative with how he does his finances, right? And then you're there like, I'm not saying don't expect anything from men, but I'm saying, which man are you dealing with? Why? And then what are you there for? Are you there for like vibes? If you're there for like someone to be spent on, then you're backing up the wrong tree. Go and find someone rich to disturb, right?
Yes.
Like, know your audience since you have decided to go the Shera 7 way. And then also know that you are also triggering a response in this person.
Absolutely.
By how you're treating them and by the words that you're saying. So what do you actually want? Do you actually want like some nigga who will spend on you and then kesho ako job for the weekend and then anarudi Monday? Like, what do you want?
What do you want?
Because everything has a price.
And it's good, Aki, this everything we talk about ties down to what our podcast is about. Because when you know where you're at, like now for me, like in this season of like, I'm not looking to get into a relationship or like to be committed to somebody, or if I am not the way I have before, like I'll take so much time before I get there. But, so I am not trying to understand where you are, where you're going, what you're dealing with, your traumas, nini. Honestly, I don't have energy for that right now. So I cannot. So right now, Shera 7 is very, very helpful for me. Because
of what you want.
Because of what I want. If I'm dealing with dudes who just want to buy me things and to do things for me, please be my guest sweetheart. That's the vibe I'm on right now, and I'm like,
I'm ready to be bought.
I'm ready to actually
to receive.
Use that. To receive and to be feminine and to just be like,
treat me nice.
But when I'm looking for a partner, when that's the energy I'm on, I need to be able to filter filter through this guy is doing things for me because he has money and he can dispose it to any babe.
Yeah, so it's not you.
It's not a me thing.
If you replace it with somebody else,
he will do the same thing.
Factual.
Yeah. So when I'm looking for a man who actually cares for me, him buying me flowers and whatever, it's nice. But is it what he will do long term? Because he loves and values me as a person. So I feel like it's so important to know where you are and what you want.
That's very true.
And to deal with the people in that level.
True. Because taking advice online, I feel like you would be lying if you said, especially how we are all constantly online, or most of us at least, you'd be lying if you said seeing all these relationship advice and blah 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 doesn't impact you in any way.
Oh my god,
it does.
Yeah.
But now you know, if you're already in a relationship, you know what kind of relationship you're in. If you're looking to be in one, like she said, you know. Or if you don't,
you should
figure out
what you're looking for.
Yeah. I remember a while back, I was having a conversation with a friend, I think, and we were talking about, like, if you're trying to date right now and like, I'm serious, I want to date someone, write down to the
everything,
down to, I like long fingers, like write it down
as specific as possible.
What exactly you want, and then as realistic as possible as well, so that now you don't deviate. You're not, women especially, we love negotiating with ourselves, and nobody has asked you. Tunapenda sana kushinda tukisema ama lakini he's nice.
By the way, it's so true. Nilisikia advice poa ya hiyo kitu. When you meet a guy and you've started feeling the electricity, go back to your list.
Yes, go back to it.
Now
when ni kama zile za kumaliza shule.
Is it the excitement, ama is it that he's actually meeting my expectation, my whatever,
your needs, like what you want,
the things I want. So unapatanga ukianza kumtetea like but he's tall, but he's cute, but he's what, then you go back to your list, you find that you wanted somebody who has common sense, someone who has self-awareness, someone he's just tall, babe. It's because he's tall and he bought you flowers. I'm promising you.
Tall and cute.
Oh my god. It's not because of the things that actually mean something to you. So your hack ni poa sana.
Even all these things that we see online, take everything with a grain of salt.
Absolutely.
Because we don't know from what context the person speaking is speaking. We don't know if they pulled it out of their ass, or it's through experience. Like, we have zero clue. If they say they are a dating coach, what are their qualifications? Are we going to go and start researching?
Absolutely.
If you want to, go ahead. But still, even a coach will also be informed by their experiences. So you cannot take something that serious. You see all these stories of people that, my relationship was ruined by TikTok. My relationship was ruined by
no, honey.
Be very serious.
No, honey. The foundation of your relationship was built on what?
And it's even not the same. It's the same thing as like a friend coming to convince you your money is bad. It's just now online. It's the same WhatsApp. If someone comes to tell you, niliona demu yako ama chali yako ama bebe simpo juu alikubai a gift when
bas.
And I understand, but me, I don't fuck with people who talk like that. Like,
even me.
Alikubai a gift when last. Alikubai flowers when last. Nah, that's not even the energy you're on.
And then that's not your measure. You see, for me Konza say, since me, I'm constructing my list. I'm not looking for a man right now, but I'm constructing a list, and I've noticed that my top priorities right now, I have never listed them in my list, and it's because I usually feel like siwezi pata mtu akona hizi vitu, but now I'm just like,
why not? Mbona nisipate?
And then also, so sasa nikubali sana nikuwe tuna no, I'm just like, let me
start negotiating forever. Start negotiating now.
Actually, na hizo vitu ndio zifanya tuachane tu at the end of the day. Inakuanga tu like,
anyway, we are in, might save yourself the time and the heartache.
So it's very important wewe ku define things for yourself and to debunk all these things for yourself, the myths, the misconceptions. Ukisikia mtu anasema even the understanding babes narrative thing, maybe you're there and you're like, guy, okay, I'm the understanding babe. But you're not alone. Me, I have been.
I was thinking the same point of like, women are better communicators. Women are more romantic. No. That is something that it's a skill. You can learn. If people go to school for 4 years to get their degree or their masters or whatever,
You can
You
do
won't
a
tell
crash
me you
course
cannot
on
do a crash course
communication.
and learn how to communicate.
You can absolutely learn.
Because if you're backsliding, we can understand that.
Yeah.
But you want to tell me they're better communicators, and then let's sit.
Yeah,
joking.
Absolutely not. No way. Me kwanza that thing for saying a man is smart, but they can't communicate. They don't know how to reassure
Which
you.
smart
They
person
don't know
do you know
how
who doesn't
to sijui love languages, things like that. I'm just like, so, but you're smart.
You can't be
Sweetheart.
that smart then.
You're not smart.
You can't be that smart.
Yeah, so for me, like emotional intelligence is absolutely non-negotiable. Like even like non-negotiable. We cannot even have a conversation. We can't have a conversation.
Sorry to interrupt.
It's okay.
There were these two clips online for the Oprah Winfrey Network something. It's that show called it's called Real Love or something. So it was basically like people on a first date.
Yeah.
And it was older people. So I remember this one day, the guy had asked her, they were doing like a this or that type vibe.
Yeah.
And then he asked her choked or spanked. And then she was like, I'm not comfortable answering that question.
Yeah.
And then he kept insisting, and then he kept saying, and then she was like, I don't want to answer any question of a sexual nature. So now, by the red flag, people who are arguing semantics with you. So now he starts arguing about what about it is sexual, it's like, broski, you had one job. You could have just said, okay, and respected her boundaries. You know how sexy that is. She told him, I'm not going to argue about this with you again. Anybody who sees those words together, they are either sexual or violent. So which one is it?
Yeah.
So if it's not sexual,
it's violent.
If you bring it up again, I'm walking out.
Yeah.
Akaanza kumwambia sijui as a man you should respect. Aliamka.
Goodbye. Yeah.
Goodbye, sir. And I was like, you know what? This is the energy we need. Don't negotiate. Don't try and convince. Don't try and show anybody your side of things. If such a fundamental small thing is giving you stress, then maybe go find somebody else to agree with.
Yeah.
It's not me.
Yeah.
The other one was now the babies asked him what was about his relationship history.
Yeah.
And then he's like, why are you asking me? Like he got so defensive. I can't even remember the things he said, but he was mostly like, and then so when they do the thingies where they talk alone, he's like, you think just because you have your degrees, like, okay, so that's your
you're insecure,
that's your true issue.
You're triggered,
that's your
you're
true
intimidated.
issue.
Good night.
So she was like, okay, so if you can't answer that question, then I can't name.
Yeah, we can't even have.
And then he was like, yeah, so you think you're going to basically emasculate me? She was like, okay, have a good night, nigga. Akaenda,
bro.
And I was like, that's the energy I need everybody to be on.
Yeah.
Things, if you're not aligning on things that are important to you, conversations that are important to you to have, if even that, someone cannot even be like, okay, let me try, even if I don't usually like having these types of, or being like, I don't want to talk about this right now, I can talk about it later. Or kitu ya relationship past hiyo pana hiyo ni nini unaongea later. But like you can judge. See, it's so subjective. You can judge based on
and the best way to do that is just to know yourself. By the way,
tumekuja full circle.
Is by then you may notice, I can't just imagine if somebody does not know them. You see, you're just maneuvering like, because also something I see is with young babes, younger babes, like maybe early 20s, or mid early. This thing for, I can never cook for a man, I can never do chores, I can never do blah blah blah. Of course it comes from somewhere, the whole empowerment, the feminism, the movements, whatever we've seen our moms doing and everything. But you need to define it for yourself. You need to figure out what that means for you. And also you can't be like that when you're getting into a union that is fulfilling both of you. You can't just get into something being like, I can never cook for you, I can never do this, I can never do this for somebody, and then you want to. Because you see, relationships are not events. It's not an event you'll go to and act. It's like a lifetime thing. It's like a long-term thing.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be with someone for a long time, so what are you going to be eating? So like if he has a long day and you can cook and you've had an easy day, so you won't do that because you said online, you tweeted something like, oh my god, I could never. So I like it when young babes say that, I'm usually like, so would you actually, do you mean that?
Am I saying it for vibes and for clout or something?
Yeah, because people say it, because women.
Like, yeah, you're right. All this shit you have to define for yourself. You need to know who you are.
Yeah.
You need to think about like what kind of household you would like to live in, if that's something you're interested in.
Yeah.
what kind of partner you would like, because let me tell you, a good partner, a reciprocative partner, the word is reciprocate,
Absolutely.
will not stand for that shit either. A person who respects themselves, which I assume you would want as a person who respects yourself, and if you don't, watch our previous episode, you will also, like, you want someone you respect and someone who's like, no, who will also protect their own
can assert
boundaries
themselves,
exactly, assert themselves. You cannot do those what are they called, like
they're called ultimatums,
or like non-negotiable statements. You can't, and the only way to do that is to learn yourself and to learn by the where is this coming from, why do I feel so strongly about it, am I even willing to negotiate, or am I even willing to do anything with it myself? Then when you do all that, it's so much easier to be discerning. When you already can accept yourself and know yourself and your limits, you can be able to spot something like, oh, okay, that's maybe, I think I'm projecting a little, versus, no, I actually don't like what the way you've spoken to me or what you've done. You'll be able to sit with yourself a bit, even if it takes a minute to figure it out, you will be able to do that.
And even to explain it, I feel like there's a previous relationship nearly kitu ya chores, that's why I've mentioned it, because for me I had to really sit with it, like, why do I feel so strongly about this chores thing? And for me it's literally not about the women empowerment movement or anything, it's just my own traumas and my own stance, the thing I have decided moving forward is going to be my life. So
tied to service.
Exactly. Tied to service. And also I'm working on it, right? So I'm working on it. I want to unpack this whole acts of service, like, thing. What's happening here? Yeah, I don't want it to be ati Charlie ananiambia nimpikie, then I'm like, you think I am your wife? You think I'm your wife?
And then and then
bro, ama ni push away.
Like you had actually a decent
person
chance of like forming a nice union. You're like, nah.
No. And then he's like, zi udem by the akona my issues and So when I unpacked that for myself and then I explained it to them, then they got, that's intense. That's deep. So
way more than just I hate chores.
Exactly. So in Akwata, them when they are doing it, they are intentional. They are doing it because they're happily relieving you of that stress.
Or when you're knowing about it, they're like, even they'll get angry and they'll remember,
by the way, akona mashida zake. She has her own problems. So I think understanding yourself from that point really allows you to set room temperatures kwa space yako zinakuwa managed.
And you can be able to also see, like, this is not my fight with you, this is my fight with myself.
Absolutely.
So, guys, please, we are very deep.
We are. And I feel like with relationships, especially this conversation, the point is just debunk all these myths and misconceptions.
All the things you think about, really think about it and whether it applies to you and what you want. And if you want help, like and follow and comment and shit, like
subscribe.
We like talking.
You're the most important one though.
Yes.
Subscribe, you keep coming back.
Now utapata notification when we post an episode every week. So
moving forward what date is next Wednesday? Tuesday or Wednesday?
No, we have two already up for the nini for the year. So sijui date gani, we jua tu
every Wednesday there'll be an episode. From us, and like it's a very good podcast to subscribe to when you're on a journey of like self-discovery, personal development. You want to take your personal development more seriously, your relationship with yourself. So if you're on that tip this year especially, just subscribe and we'll have all these conversations like more in depth. So for now I think I
think we can call it
exhausted.
Like we can never
we can never exhaust
we can never, but we can call it a day.
We can call this one an episode, and then now moving forward we'll have, and then ask us if you have something in your mind.
And follow us on IG. We want to interact with you guys.
More on our Instagram stories, on our TikTok. So we'll put all that in the description box below. And then like let us know what you want to see also, or what you want to see us talk about more on this podcast. So until next time,
bye.
Toodles.